Hello everyone, once again this is the Professor. Today I'm going to do something and risk pissing off so many fanboys. More fanboys than I've ever pissed off before in my entire life. Today we're going to be looking at a video made by Doug Walker. Yes, the Nostalgia Critic. Recently he decided to watch Dark Knight Rises and uploaded a review of it to Blood TV. Now remember, he was not being the Nostalgia Critic. He was being Doug Walker. He wasn't being Chester A. Bum or Ask That Guy or any of his other characters. He was being Doug Walker. So what we have here today are the thoughts of Doug Walker. I also know full well that I am not the only person doing a commentary on this video. I have already talked with Savage Broadcast today, in which we discussed that we want to make sure that everyone understands. I'm not ripping him off. He's not ripping me off. We haven't discussed our scripts with each other, and we're not intending to jump on a bandwagon. We just both felt like doing this commentary, and I was requested to do it in a roundabout fashion, and when I watched it, I said, fuck yes, I'm doing this commentary. With all that aside, and no more ado whatsoever, let's begin, shall we?
Hello, I'm here to give you the review.
Don't do that. Just please don't.
The Dark Knight Rises. Not the review you deserve.
Stop, just, thank God!
Okay, I'm not gonna do that. But okay, yeah, this is the much anticipated Dark Knight Rises, and I'll just apologize now. I'm doing this before I do the bum review, so if I reuse some of these jokes, I apologize, or if you've already seen them and you see me that, whatever. As always, best way to talk about the sequel or remake is to talk about what you thought the films before it. I'll just do the, and then we have the Dark Knight Rises. I didn't like this one. I thought this actually kind of sucked. And I have no idea if I'm a minority on that, or if that's going to be the popular view. I have no idea. I haven't looked up and seen what other people thought yet, but I got back from the midnight screening, and I was really underwhelmed by it. I was actually kind of shocked. There's two things that I really, really like in it. One is Catwoman. Catwoman's a great. Hathaway's fine. I think there could have been a better actress, possibly, but she does fine. She's having fun. She goes back and forth between being like, the damsel screaming and then, going to serious mode. It's like that was just for show. I mean, it's playing the different parts and the different characters, and she's having fun with it. She's more of a spy in this one. And I love the Michelle Pfeiffer one. Okay, that's a great character, an awesome character, but it's nice to see one more sort of like the comics. So,
okay, everyone, I have let the video play this long and up to this part to make one very specific point. Doug is apparently not able to deliver a good speech off the cuff and unscripted. As someone who has started coaching others on public speaking, I can easily say that he needs to slow down before he loses his audience. He also needs to relax so his hands won't be more active than his actual speech. And he also needs to work on his thought progression to keep himself from using ahs, ums, and uhs so very, very, very freaking often. So now I'm going to be skipping to the juicy areas of this review. And he also happens to repeat himself and go off track a lot. Have you noticed that yourselves?
Aside from that, what really sort of shocked me about this movie is that I couldn't give a crap what was going to happen. The last, half hour or whatever of the climax, the city fighting, everyone's running in, the bat plane is flying, tanks, explosions. I was looking at my watch. I was so bored.
A city is in peril. Hundreds of thousands of people are about to die because of a nuclear bomb with a blast radius of 6 miles in total, and you couldn't care. That's pretty sad there, Doug. Very sad indeed.
By this. And I think the reason for that is, one, they don't make the main character, they don't make Batman that interesting in this. They don't have him go through much of a dilemma. The other films did. This one, I mean, maybe he is, but they don't focus on it that much. At least not as much as they probably should. Not enough to get us, sort of like, wow, I feel what he's going through. We're going with him through this journey. So that's a problem.
The movie spends the entire first act focusing on Bruce and his problems. They reveal more of his issues in the second act. Really, how much focus do you need? Were you needing another separate movie called Dark Knight Depression Falls to feel as if you knew the issues surrounding Bruce Wayne at this point?
Two biggest problem is the motivation for the villains. This is pretty much the first film again. The exact same plan, except it made even less sense. It makes even less sense in this one than it did in the first one. The first one was Gotham is a decaying city. It's you know, it's horrible. It's like a diseased arm that needs to be lopped off so the rest of civilization can, you know, live. Okay. You know, I guess I'll buy it. You know, it sounds a little goofy, but whatever. We'll go with it, okay?
This is a point that goes to show that Doug is not a fan of the Batman comics. If he was, then he would have known that Ra's al Ghul, and yes, it is Ra's, and yes, I don't like that the movie keeps calling him Ra's, was that kind of a person. If he thought a society was outside of his vision of perfection, regardless of reasons, he would destroy it and rebuild it within his vision. He was the same way in the animated series that Doug praised so very much as the nostalgia critic. Strange, huh?
And then in this one, it's like, Gotham is now a peaceful place because all that bullshit at the end of The Dark Knight, you know, with we have to make Batman look like the villain and, whatever, and Michael Caine burning the letter and stuff like that, all of that just got rid of crime, you know, the streets are safe. They're gonna get rid of Jim Gordon because this is peacetime. By the way, that goes nowhere. There's no reason for that. So now Gotham's, I guess, a really pretty nice place. People want a vacation there or something.
Did you pay attention to the first Gotham scene of the movie? In the opening sequences of the movie, they explained that by allowing Batman to take the fall at the end of Dark Knight, they were able to make Harvey Dent look like a hero, which spurred the city of Gotham into passing the laws that Harvey wanted to put in place. These laws were what allowed them to clean the streets of Gotham to the point that they are at the beginning of Dark Knight Rises. It is more than just Harry Potter waving a magic wand, which is kind of how you explained it.
But these bad guys, the exact same ones, the League of Shadows, come in and they still want to stomp it out. Why? Because, well, we got a plan. We still got the blueprints. We gotta just throw them away? I mean, we can't do that. It doesn't add up. And that's the big problem, is that you're following these villains, and you're trying to get into their plan. And when you get to the big battle at the end, everyone's rushing and fighting, you're constantly asking yourself, what the hell are they fighting for? What was this for again? I'm not behind this. Even something like Avengers, you know, is very basic. Asshole wants to take over the world. I mean, we know that. We've seen it a million times, so we can get it. We're still not sure exactly what this is. And there's a bomb that they have that they could just blow up at any moment. In fact, we find out that they are just going to blow it up. They're holding the city hostage unless they don't heed to their demands, because there's no demands they have to heed to. So they, you know, but what's the point? Well, they want to see the soul of Gotham be crushed. Why? To prove a point. The point that if we let a bunch of prisoners out of their cells, the city will be in chaos. I don't think you need to prove that. I think we could figure that out. And if no law enforcement is there to save them, the city will crumble and die. Yeah? Yeah? You know, and... but we're gonna blow it up anyway. What? This is the dumbest plan. It doesn't add up, and we don't exactly know why they're doing it. It's just sort of stubbornness.
No, guys, I didn't disappear. In the first two acts of the movie, once Bane is revealed within Gotham City, it is made pretty clear what his motive is. Once again, Ra's wanted to destroy the city because it didn't fit his image. In Dark Knight Rises, they lead you to believe that Bane wanted to destroy the city for both revenge and also because Gotham was a city ran on lies. Lies behind Harvey Dent and Commissioner Gordon, their two biggest heroes. Lies that make it seem like there is nothing but peace, but when you look at the underprivileged of the city, you see that nothing has changed and things have actually gotten worse. The point that he was trying to make was not about freeing the prisoners. That was a means to an end, as was trapping the police underground. The point was that if we, as the people, put too much trust in the establishment and forgot the power that we, as the people, are supposed to hold, it will end up eventually killing us. Did you watch the same movie that I did? I'm not sure.
That's one of the many major problems. I mean, I should probably go a little bit into the story here. You know, it's a few years later after Dark Knight. Bruce Wayne is now like a cripple. Which did I miss something in the last one. Like, he has a cane and he can, just barely walk. When did that happen? I thought Batman was walking okay at the end of the first film, but he could ride the bike.
Yes, because falling almost 2 stories from a building and spending a couple of years afterwards fighting nonstop couldn't possibly injure someone. They don't even explain this in the movie when they have him go to a doctor who explains all of the broken bones, decayed cartilage, and other items that his constant fighting have caused it all, do they?
But he decides to, seclude himself and get away from everything because the death of Harvey Dent was too much. The death of his parents as a kid, that was tough. But this guy who was nice, but he turned out to be a jerk. Lock himself away from everything. He's like Howard Hughes. He's got the long beard. He's, I'm done. So that didn't make a whole lot of sense.
There are once again multiple factors given in the movie that shows, yet again, Doug, you paid no attention whatsoever to the movie. Factor number 1! He is having to live the life of a man who is charged with the death of Harvey Dent. Factor number 2! Despite all he has done, he was unable to make the true peace within the city that he has always wanted, and he knows this. And lastly, factor number 3! The woman he loves died, and he could do nothing to save her. He even believed that she was going to leave Harvey Dent to be with him because Alfred did not show him the letter that she wrote to him because Alfred was trying to keep Bruce from being hurt even more than he already was. This was all in the movie. How did you miss it?
Then what is the purpose of the second movie? What is the purpose of the Joker? What's even the purpose of Two-Face? You could easily write these two things out and just have, what's the purpose of framing Batman for the crime? Write that stuff out. Okay, go from Batman Begins, take out the Joker, all that stuff. I'm Batman, I'm in the city, I'm gonna make it great. Go to this movie. Everything's great because of Batman. Well, the Bane doesn't want that. He wants revenge for Ra's al Ghul. And continue the rest of the story. You don't need the second film. It's totally pointless. The Joker's totally pointless. Two-Face is pretty much pointless. And all those decisions they decide to do at the end, with, I thought were kind of bullshit anyway, with Michael Caine burning the letter and Batman taking the blame and Gordon going along with it and stuff, really bites him in the ass. And everybody's saying, why the hell did you do this? This was stupid. And they're totally right. I mean, it's like, it just shot itself in the foot with its own logic. Because everything they did in that film is ultimately coming back, and everybody's yelling at them saying this was the wrong thing to do. And they're right, it was the wrong thing to do. It was a dumb idea.
That was the whole purpose of the second movie, to show that the actions that they took would eventually fail. The second movie was nothing more than a plot build-up for the third, and makes the trilogy that much more cohesive in the long run. If they had skipped the second movie and just opened it to a peaceful Gotham City with no explanation, there would have been one hell of a gaping plot hole, don't you think? It would be entirely unbelievable in a story aspect for Batman to have caused peace in the city by himself. But to have it where the society spurred itself into action because of one man just to see it fall apart has a bigger emotional impact on the audience. And also shows that the city has learned to fight for itself, which is displayed in the final act of the movie.
So you have that going, but trying to bring it back to the villains in the first film, it doesn't add up, because then they're trying to make it look like this was all part of the plan, this was all part of the trilogy, when clearly it wasn't. Maybe you were going to do something with Heath Ledger that was going to bring it back into this, I don't know.
Look at the production notes and you would see that they never planned for the Joker to be the villain in this movie. So they did write it this way intentionally.
Dark Knight Returns. Just listen to the friggin' title. You're recycling the title. Batman Begins to Dark Knight Returns. There's not much variation there. Did you learn anything from watching the Rambo movies? Anyway, you have Dark Knight Rises.
Unscripted videos are not your forte, are they, Doug? Twice you call it Dark Knight Returns, which is the title to the second Batman movie made by Tim Burton, Batman Returns. And on the third time, you finally get it right. What's going to happen on the seventh day? Are you going to rest?